The Shift is brought to you by SE Healthcare. Welcome to The Shift. I'm Dr. Andrea Coyle. Shifties, welcome back to the next episode of The Shift. Today, I am sitting down with Nikule Abel. Let me tell you a fun story. She and I were doing some work with the American Nurses Association, and I was listening to Nikule speak about nursing and things that she's passionate about. And I thought to myself, wow, she's been a nurse for 4 years and she knows all this. And I thought, wow, what a great shifty and what a great person to have on the podcast. So Nikule, welcome to The Shift.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. I've listened to this podcast, so to be on it and to express why I love to be a nurse and just getting my voice out there for others to hear is amazing. So thank you for this opportunity.
Oh my gosh, thank you for joining and thank you for being so incredible. The first thing, Nikule, just curious, share with the shifties, how or why did you get into nursing?
So for me, I started nursing. I've been a nurse for 4 years. And a little story of that is it actually took me 11 years to complete my BSN for nursing because I had a son. I had to work full time. I could only take one class at a time. So I do not take it for granted at all. But I became a nurse. I had a very, very close, dear loved one of mine who actually passed away a week before I started nursing school, and that just fueled my fire. But what really got me to become a nurse is when my grandmother got sick. She actually got hit in the head with a rain pipe, and from that she had to learn how to walk, talk, eat, how to be a human all over again. And it was the compassionate nurses that really showed her love and care and empathy that showed me, like, wow, if these women look like me and they are doing this gift from God, like I could totally do this and bring some joy and love in the world. And that's how I got into nursing.
Oh my gosh, Nikule, that's such a great story. And you just gave me an idea. I think from now on, I'm going to start asking my guests how and why they got into nursing because there's always a really good story behind it. I
Yeah,
don't think,
absolutely.
don't you think so?
Absolutely. And I think for me, like I said, I had a loved one pass away 7 days before I started nursing school. And from that, his passing actually led me to go into the cardiac ICU because he was a donor. And then now I get to take care of those same loved ones that are receiving a gift of life that he once was able to give to others.
Wow. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that story. And thank you for sharing, how long it took to get your BSN. I know that it's difficult. I worked full time and went to nursing school full time, and you know this better than anyone. It is hard work. I had to sacrifice years of my life because I originally went to school to be a school teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think people recognize how difficult nursing school is.
No, not at all. But like I tell my kids, with anything, you can do anything with hard work and determination. You can do anything. It might be a hard road. And like for me, it was 11 years of a hard road, but I got there and I'm doing it. And, the world is mine now. So with a little bit of hard work and determination, you can do it.
See, and Nikule, you're not disappointing because I knew you would come on here and inspire me, and I'm getting the goosebumps. Tell us a little bit. You've been a nurse for 4 years. Some of the top three things we talk about in healthcare are workforce, staffing, burnouts always at the top. You've been a nurse for 4 years. Have you experienced burnout or have you seen some of your peers experience burnout?
I would say I've absolutely have experienced burnout in my field. Like I said, the CVICU, you deal a lot. It's not just mentally, but it's physically exhausting because you carry the weight of keeping people alive and sometimes losing those people and having to deal with the loved ones and trying to be there for them. But for me, the most important thing I've learned is at the end of the day, I get to walk out of the hospital. So yes, I might feel burned out, but I always try to remind myself what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and remind myself again, I get to walk out of these doors. These people are still stuck here. And when you kind of try to put that into perspective, that helps a lot. And you have to also be proactive in things, being meditation, having some self-care, all of those things. And nurses know all about that because we get plenty of information about burnout. But if I can give one piece of advice is remember at the end of the day, you get to leave the hospital. You are not stuck there like the others.
So, Nikule, you're describing one of the reasons why I started the Shift podcast. It is a mindset
Mhm.
shift. You
Absolutely.
have got to shift the mindset. I think we talked about this. I was an adult ICU nurse. And when I would go in there feeling exhausted, which is one of the cardinal symptoms of burnout, I thought to myself, guess what, Andrea? I'm able to drive to work, walk to
Mhm.
the unit, take care of people, drive home. There are some people that cannot do that. And when you shift the mindset towards gratitude and blessings and reconnecting to purpose, you just said you reconnect to purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah, reconnecting to purpose
You
is
said,
so important.
sorry, you said something that is important. You said, I get to take care of people and having that mindset, I get to take care of these people instead of me being the one being taken care of. And
It
that's, again, mindset,
It
mindset.
so powerful. And I think that's how we connected. We were, with the A&A team, we were just talking about burnout and self-care and reconnecting to purpose. And it's so impressive that you've been a nurse for 4 years and you're doing such great work with the A&A. Will you share with the shifties some of the great work that you're doing there and what your role is?
Yeah, absolutely. So I serve as the American Nurses Association Director at Large for a recent graduate, and it's been an absolute incredible opportunity, especially for someone like me who's coming into my role and my career. I've been able to help really represent and give the voice to new graduates, but also nursing students with a larger professional community, really. And it's nice that I can bring a fresh perspective to discuss things about like workforce development, education, and how to really just support nurses transitioning from school to practice because it's such a huge leap. But more than that, I feel like a big part of my responsibility is really listening to the needs of my peers, understanding the challenges that they face, and then bringing these concerns forward to the ANA board and really being a voice for them. And then from there, we can help with strategic planning and decision making. But again, more than all of that, it's being a face and showing others if someone like me can do it, so can you. And I think that's the biggest takeaway for me.
Wow. Will you mind sharing what are some of the things that you mentioned workforce and you mentioned you get to hear what nurses are saying. What's the scuttlebutt? What are people talking about? What's the 411?
I think nurses right now, obviously we always hear about nurses. We're short staffed, we're burned out, but there's so much positive that nurses are feeling right now and so much hope that nurses are feeling. When you join organizations like ANA, they give you hope. Like someone cares, someone is listening to me, and then you're able to really, again, help change your mindset and build those connections and mentorship that I've been able to found through ANA, but also that I've seen others, my peers, find through ANA as well, which is just brings me so much joy because there's so much that we can do together, collectively together. So I think that's really important. People know that collectively you can change the world.
Uh, I'm trying to think what Deb Zimmerman always says. We are stronger together,
Mm-hmm.
and it's true. And there's 4 million nurses in just the United States of America, and we have such a voice. It takes people in your role, people that have this great leadership that you have, Nikule, to make people feel comfortable, vulnerable, and confident to use their voice. What do you think gave you the confidence and the vulnerability to not only have a voice, but to also empower people to have a voice?
I think it comes from just my experience in life. Like I said, it took me 11 years to get my bachelor's. So I do not take education for granted. It is a privilege to have an education. And when you keep, again, going back to mindset, when you have that mindset, when you're tired, you don't, you still get up and you do what you're supposed to do. You have a huge opportunity having, again, um, education. And for me, it's I just can't get my education and sit back and not show others again that if I can do it, you can do it. Because it for me, it took someone to look like me for me to resonate with them that changed my whole trajectory in life. And I feel like if I can do that for one person, my job well done.
You know, I'm the more I listen to you, I'm like, wow, we've got to have, you and I have to get together and change the world because your story's powerful. And I mean, just walk us through a little bit about your journey through nursing school because I started off as an ADN nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is, I've been a nurse for 31 years. I was an ADN nurse. I thought, you know what? I'm going to work 3 12s, 3 days a week, do a lot of vacation, have fun. And man, this is great. And I don't need a BSN. I don't need a master's. I'm good to go. And shortly into my nursing career, I had great mentors, just like you mentioned, and people that were always encouraging me and influencing me. And I went back to school to get my BSN. Uh, not easy. I had 2 children. My children are close at age. So I was working full time, getting my BSN and raising 2 children. Um, and it was hard. And then I thought, you know how it goes. Now they want everyone to have a master's degree to get into these leadership roles. And I thought, well, here we go. Good grief. I have to go back to school and get a master's. Went back to school, got a master's. During my master's, my twin brother was diagnosed with cancer, and I had to push through um, difficult full-time master's degree, full-time sister of a twin who was dying of cancer, who he ended up passing away, and keeping my job and running a family. And there were times I wanted to give up, but my son, who is 21 years old and brilliant, he said, Mom, difficult doesn't last forever. And so then I got my DNP because the hospital that I worked for, they said if they asked people to write essays on leadership and how you would integrate and implement your leadership into the organization, and I had my DNP paid for.
That's amazing.
So what's next? Are you thinking bachelor's? I'm sorry, are you thinking
Um,
master's
no,
DNP?
absolutely. My dream would be able to go back to school and become a CRNA and get my DNP. That would be working closely with CRNAs and just seeing how they can really affect and change lives is near and dear to my heart. And especially the CVICU, it's like I said, I had a loved one who was a heart donor, and working with those donors and their families and the recipients, that's changed my life. So I know for a fact like I am where I'm supposed to be, and I would obviously love to propel myself. So I'm actually in the process of applying to CRNA school right now. But I also want to tell everyone out there, like, you, not everyone has the opportunity just to go back to school like that and get their master's and get their DNP. And I want everyone to know that you also don't have to do that. You can be a leader and change your little silo that you're in. And sometimes changing your silo and your surroundings is more powerful than what people think as being a leader and getting my master's, and so, because that's not always in the cards for other people. So just because you don't have that degree does not mean you're a leader. So
And I love that you bring that up because I'm a self-professed lifelong learner. And whether I'm in my space of the work environment or my personal life, or even if I'm just relaxing, I always want to be fueled with learning something.
me too.
And I think some people sometimes, I don't know if you found this, Nikole, once I have a title, I'm I'm privileged to something just because I have the title. You still have to work for it.
Absolutely. You still have to work for it. And everything that I do, I put my heart and soul into it. I'm not just doing it just to get to the next goal. It's very intentional for me. Um, but also to be in certain spaces, you have to have those titles, correct? You know, you have to, unfortunately, that's the way the world works. But again, I'm a lifelong learner, so that doesn't stop me.
I love it. And I have as I mentioned, I have a 20 and 21-year-old both in college. And I tell them all the time because they don't have degrees yet, they haven't graduated. Be a leader, whether it's in your friend group, Be the leader that says, you know what? Let's all get together tonight and everybody put their cell phones down. That's
Absolutely.
leading.
Absolutely. Or being, my oldest, he's 14, and he was up late, didn't go to bed on time. So I took his phone away because I was like, you should be in bed. And he was texting. So I was just, as a mom, you kind of go through the phone. And I was just so impressed at him at 14, him being a leader. He had a group chat of his friends kind of bashing another kid, and my son was like, you don't know what this kid is going through. And as a mom for a 14-year-old to say that, like, wow, you are listening to me. But like, what a beautiful heart you have to go against six of your best friends and to say, like, hey, you don't know what this kid is going through. And sure enough, this kid was going through a lot personally with his parents and just kind of in a toxic environment. So again, you never know what people are going through. And if you can leave with one word of the day here, I would say be mindful. If everyone could be a little more mindful in their day, that could change the world right there.
Wow. Well, I was going to ask you, Nicole, to kick some knowledge, and that was it. That was it. Be
Be
mindful.
mindful, mindful,
Be mindful.
be mindful.
Let's have you do one more thing, Nicole. Can you please share with us what's in the future? I hear CRNA school, wonderful mom, three beautiful children. What's next with the ANA?
For me, it's I'm ending my first term and going to start my second term. And for me, it's really just getting out there and talking and making meaningful for connections. I think that is the biggest thing you can do, is making meaningful connections, genuine connections. And that's what I love to do, showing people I can do it, you can do it. If you have, you're going in through a test or simulation and you need someone to talk to because maybe you don't have anyone, I always tell the students or the early career nurses, call me, and they do. I just had a recent grad call me last week and say, hey, I have to do my ACLS and I'm really, really nervous. Like, we kind of just went through some scenarios, and it's just being able to be there for others as I wish I had someone there for me.
Yeah. Okay. So you bring up a really good point. Now we're just totally riffing. We're going off script. I look back at that too, Nicole, and I feel like, because as I said, I've been a nurse for 31 years. Early in my career, when I say early, probably the first 3 years of my career, I don't feel like I really had a mentor. I don't feel like I really had someone that took me under their wing and said, oh my gosh, Andrea, I see this great potential in you. As I was in nursing longer, those mentors came along. Those people that believed in me came along. What do you think we can do for our new to the profession nurses earlier in their career so that they feel welcomed, validated, inspired? What do you think we can do for them?
Well, I think everyone needs to remind themselves that you got through nursing school, and what is your purpose? What is your purpose? Remind yourself of that, and remind yourself of why you're doing it. But more than that, like, if you need someone to say, like, hey, you're doing it right, hey, you got this, like, I'm here. I'm here. And I have so many people sometimes write me on LinkedIn or text me like, I am here. Because sometimes all it takes is being able to knowing you have someone in the background who's cheering you on. And you might not even need a lot from them. Just someone to say, like, no, like, hey, I got a good grade on this test. Hey, I got through my first code. Like, let me tell Nicole, to hype me up. That's all it takes sometimes.
So my daughter, who's 20, she's always talking about, I'm your biggest hype girl, mom. I'm your biggest
I
hype girl.
love that.
I think that's a takeaway
I
here is we
love
all
that.
need a hype girl or hype boy in our
You
life, right?
do.
We
You do.
do.
Because and especially for nurses, sometimes I walk out of my job at the CVICU, and in a 12-hour shift, I might have coded someone, maybe someone passed away, and you have to deal with the grieving family. And then on the other side of the hallway, someone just received the beauty of the gift of life. And you walk out of there and your shift's over. That's it. And sometimes it's hard because you try to compartmentalize, but you have to remind yourself, like, the wonderful things you're doing. And again, mindset. And if you're burned out, you walk out of there, I get to walk out of here. Or you walk out there, I'm truly grateful I got to help this loved one. Or you walk out of there, I'm so grateful I got to get that experience. But always just try to have that mindfulness and try to switch everything into a positive light. You had a patient that passed away, have your heart with them, but what can you do to help their family? Do you know? So it's always about being mindful.
Yes. Well, I have to tell you, Nikule, I can't thank you enough. You've given me a lot of inspiration these past 25, 30 minutes. I'm so glad you came on the shift. I want you to come back. I just want to share with the shifties, remember, be mindful. Difficult doesn't last forever. Find a mentor. And anything you want to add, Nikule?
If you need a mentor, I am here. We will put my contact information because I am here. Please, please reach out, because I might be a recent grad of a nurse for 4 years, but I'm also a mother. I'm also a woman. I'm also married. Like, I have so many different avenues of my life where I understand. I truly understand. And I want to be there for you if you need someone.
Nikule, thank you. You are truly a rising star. You're the reason why I got into nursing, so I could walk along other incredible professional women. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for doing all that you do and building a community for us.
Thank you. And remember, shifties, your shift makes a difference. Keep shifting. Enjoying the shift? Help us reach more nurse leaders by rating and reviewing us on your podcast app. It takes just a minute, but makes a big impact. Search for The Shift, tap those stars, and share what you love. Your feedback shapes our future episodes and helps others discover us. Remember, rate, review, and amplify the shift today.